cry more than you.
It's not worth dying for. No, it's true.
No.
Everything I do, I'll do it for you. What the second verse?
Close it.
And the third and the fourth.
Oh, what happened to you?
No, we're gonna do it again.
It's gonna take a long time to start.
It's not okay.
Wait. Sure? Yeah, Dan, keep going. Just play it again.
Take me as I am. Take my hands.
You can open up the computer and then they can kind of rest. Yeah, the computer can be the little stand. Oh, okay. So run back and does it.
It's not worth trying. You can't tell me it's not worth dying for. And you know it's true. Everything I do it for you.
Today we've come together to witness the joining of these two lives. Out of the routine of ordinary life, something extraordinary happened. Thousands of kilometers divided them, from Merida, Mexico to Toronto, Canada, and yet music brought them together. A passionate bass player, a posting online, a discerning ear, and they connected. March 2nd, 2015, just over a year ago. So much has happened since that first contact. And yet, as unpredictable as their meeting was, there was something about it that made them destined to find one another. Sharing a passion for music, for science, for analytical arguments, Spanish, and a level of comfort they felt from the moment they met. For them, out of the routine of ordinary life, something extraordinary happened. They met each other, shared love, and we are celebrating it with them today. It is a privilege, and perhaps I feel it even more so, being both mother and officiant. Together, though, we are all witnesses as they choose to ritually affirm the relationship they've established with their closest family and friends, and many that are not here today. But we'll lovingly call this wedding, Wedding 1.0. Blessed are you who have come here today, whether in person or on Skype. Hopefully your friends are there on Skype. Your presence is important for Josh and Ale. We ask that the source of all life grant abundant blessings to them. May their home always be a shelter against the storm, a haven of peace, and a stronghold of faith and love. Ale spent much of the summer here, and when she was leaving, I wrote a story, and I actually want to share the story that I wrote. There once was a family of owls who enjoyed being on the same tree together. They would hoot and hoot from one branch to the next, wide eyes turning respectfully from one to the other. Their loud hooting sometimes scared birds from other trees, but they were secure in who they were and in the relationships that they shared. There were seasons when one owl or two owls from a single branch would fly off into the greater world in search of stories and experiences to come back and share with the others. Each journey was hailed as a source of wisdom to share. One day, one of the young male owls heard the echoes of a calling from a distant tree. He immediately realized that the hoots were so similar to his own, and yet the voice held a wisdom that was different. One day he flew off in search of the exotic hooting, only to discover that the two of them shared a special kind of knowledge and wisdom. They peered at each other with open eyes and knew that great distances could not keep them apart. They flew back to the young male's home tree, where the young female owl was greeted with joyful hoots by all. She brought new stories to share and opened the eyes of those on the tree. The seasons and the years pass, but the tree always faithfully encourages some owls to go off in search of new things. Sometimes the branches will be mostly empty, as each owl goes off to a new part of the world and to swoop over places unseen. Today the tree branches are mostly empty, but the tree with roots of wisdom that go back thousands of years knows that there will always be a place for the owls to settle, to share stories, and to continue hooting together. It's so wonderful that you've now joined our tree here. Ale and Josh, today you are beautiful, full of joy, sweetness, and happiness. But we also know that the reality of life is one that's often full of frustrations, challenges, and sorrows. We go from laughter to tears in an instant. I want you now to look into each other's eyes and see the myriad of faces that you'll wear throughout your lives. When you choose to marry, you're saying yes to all of those emotional responses. It's a promise to fully love and support each other through the joys and the sorrows, the challenges, the craziness, and the unpredictability of life. When you make this promise, you are saying that you are stronger together. When you are together, the world has more chance of being whole. Is this the promise that you make to one another? Yes. So I'm going to ask you to stand here in front of the candles now. Light is the essence of our existence. Each one of us possesses an inner glow that represents our hopes, our dreams, and our aspirations in life. Ali and Josh, the two distinct candle flames, represent your lives before this day. Individual, unique, and special. Please take the candle symbolizing your life before today, and together light the center candle to symbolize the union of your individual lives. Ancient wisdom teaches that a man leaves his mother and father and clings to his wife. It is your relationship now that comes first. As this new flame burns undivided, so shall your lives now be one. From now on, your plans will be mutual, your joys and sorrows shared. But although you're now entering into marriage, you do not, however, lose your personal identity. Rather, you will use your special individuality and gifts to create and strengthen the relationship of marriage. Therefore, all three candles remain glowing. The individual candles represent all that makes each of you the wonderful and unique person that the other admires and respects. The unity candle in the center symbolizes the union of your lives, families, and friends, as well as your shining commitment to each other and to a lasting and loving marriage. We learn about love from the people who have shown us love. Today, each of us here is surrounding you with love. But there are also many people who are physically not here with you. People whose distance may feel great at this moment. People you love and people who love you. So I want you to take a moment just to acknowledge those relationships, the times that you have shared with those people. This is a sacred moment to remember all of those who've been part of your life and cherish the love and friendship that they've given you. So, if you want to share your vows now.
Pastor? Okay.
Give me a second.
All right. Ale, 1 year ago, I would have never imagined that I'd be right here, right now, about to get married. I wouldn't have been surprised if I was the last of my siblings, or even the last of all my cousins. I had no idea that someone like you would come into my life, but you did, and here you are. 1 year ago, thanks to the modern age of social media and our shared interest in electric bass, we found each other. And after our initial exchange of Skype lessons in Spanish and electric bass playing, we soon began losing our focus and talking about each other's lives, passions, and goals, and we began to form a deeper connection. This took me by surprise. You understand, and I told you this before, that when you came into my life, I was at a point where I wasn't looking for any serious relationships, and I was really focused on my music. But soon after realizing how much we had in common, our unique chemistry, I thought to myself, and I told my mom as well, I said, wait a minute, I may never get the chance to be with a girl like this again. And I decided to give it a shot. So a couple months later, this is a little bit of a story for you guys, we finally met in person and lived together on a beach in the Yucatan for 2 weeks. Not the most traditional first date. However, there was nothing traditional about our relationship, thanks to geography. After that experience, you and I both know that we felt as if we'd been dating each other for months, and that there was incredible chemistry between us that would have seemed predestined if it wasn't for our skeptical and scientific brains. Things were definitely going fast, and that would continue throughout our relationship up until this moment. Now I realize that marriage is a big and important decision, but this next step in our relationship feels as natural as all of life's processes and phases, and so I'm incredibly confident about this decision. The thought of us living together as a family of 2 and eventually one day far, far, far in the future, increasing our numbers, a little more owls on the tree. This thought brings me incredible happiness, and I cannot wait to be part of the Ale and Josh team. Now, our marriage will be filled with good times and rough times, and it's important that we be prepared to work hard at keeping our relationship strong. So here are some promises that I will make on my part to help things continue to be strong. I promise to say I love you every chance I get. I promise to let you hold me or me to hold you, even when my mind is preoccupied on something else. I promise to take care of you when you are sick. I promise to hear you out whenever you have a disagreement with me so that we can come up with a solution together. I promise to never go to bed mad at you. I promise to wash the dishes every day. I promise to never eat meat. That one's for me. I know you don't like that one. I promise to always be honest about my feelings and intentions with you. I promise to teach you how to play like Jocko. That's something that that's something between us, if you guys don't know. I want us to promise each other as a couple that we will never lose our sense of adventure. We're at the beginning of a new stage of our lives, but we're not old yet, and yeah. te prometo que voy a practicar mi español más para que pueda comunicar de manera más eficaz con tu familia. If there are any promises I missed, you can contact my lawyer and I'll But seriously, this list can go on for hours. What I'm prepared to do for this relationship. Ale, te amo. I love you.
Wow, I'm not gonna be able to tell that. Yeah, this one. Josh, I remember the exact moment I heard you for the first time. It was very late at night. I was frustrated because my mother was not running, and I was about to give up and go to sleep. I was about to do that when that link in my feed popped out, and I just figured I'd click it. I wasn't really expecting anything out of it. And as I stood there and started listening to it, I realized that my mood started to change. I started nodding and smiling like a crazy person. I replayed it for at least 3 times, not understanding how that was possible and how amazing that was. And I decided to share it with my friends because I thought it was amazing. I remember I decided to just stay there and finish what I had to do because it just gave me the energy to do so, and I did. And that's the effect that you've had since the first moment I heard you. If someone would have told me a year ago that I was going to be married before 29, I would have never believed it. You know that before I was a little lost and didn't really know where my next step was going to be. And in 1 year, everything has changed. You were so unexpected, so full of energy, so driven, so wonderfully weird. And you're always helping me believe in myself and pushing me to be the best at what I do. You've given me a second family that I love dearly. For the first time in a long time, I felt that I'm home. I know this is soon, and I know it's going to be hard. And I love you. And I'm going to work hard at this. And I know that if we have problems, we're just going to talk them out, and we're going to fight for this. And I can promise that I'm going to do my best. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn from you. I know that we can learn from each other. And I cannot wait to start my life with you. I love you.
Are we allowed to hug?
Yes. Yesterday you went down to Kensington to buy these rings that you're going to exchange with one another. So if you'll take them.
I have a tissue.
With the exchange of these rings, you are sealing the promises that you've made to each other. The ring is an unbroken circle, a symbol of wholeness and perfection. You give and receive rings in the hope that you always share an unbroken circle of love and life together. So Josh, you're going to repeat after me. I, Josh.
I, Josh.
Take you.
Take you.
Ale. To be my wife.
To be my wife.
My partner in life.
My partner in life.
And my one true love.
My one true love.
I will cherish our friendship.
I will cherish our friendship.
And love you today, tomorrow, and forever.
And love you today, tomorrow, and forever.
Ale, you will give the ring to Josh. I, Ale.
I
Take you.
Thank you, Josh.
To be my husband.
To be my husband.
My partner in life.
My partner in life.
And my one true love.
My one true love.
I will cherish our friendship.
And to cherish our friendship.
And love you today, tomorrow, and forever.
I love you today, tomorrow, and forever.
I don't know if there's anybody here that would like to offer
You may kiss the groom.
a word or a blessing or advice, or you'll have the opportunity also later too. If anybody would like to.
If anyone would like to challenge this, no. This union.
I love Josh, and I certainly am going to, and I feel it right now. I love you, Alec. Lots of happiness.
And that ring comes from 60 plus years of marriages.
Yeah, that's right.
We turn now to ancient words. I'm going to take the opportunity as a mom. Not as an officiant, but I'm still going to recite words that come from Torah. It's one of the most ancient blessings, and it is the blessing that a parent makes for a child. So, Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'hunecha, Yisa Adonai panav elecha, Yisam lecha shalom. May the source of all life bless you and protect you, cherish you, and that you always will experience peace.
Amen.
We've now been privileged and blessed to be witness to this relationship that Josh and Holly have made. No one stands alone. Everyone needs the support of family and friends. And I know there will be a big celebration, and I hope that you're totally surrounded by all of your family and friends in the months to come. We're going to do one final ritual, and that is the breaking of a glass. The breaking of something signifies two things. One, that a covenant between two people has been formed, but it also signifies that the world is still a broken place. Even in the midst of this joy and the creation of a new beginning, we take a moment to realize that the world is not perfected. There is bigotry, prejudice, violence, and injustice. There's the abuse of nature and the destruction of our world. And there is a brokenness that only love can heal. So in the midst of our joy, we pause to reflect and to hope that a day will come when there will be no more shattered glass and no more broken hearts. So as you shatter this glass, we're reminded of all of our responsibility in helping to repair the world. It's our responsibility to turn brokenness into wholeness, sorrows into joys, and injustice into justice. And so I ask that after this glass breaks, that everyone takes a moment to think about something that they can do also to help create a better world. It is a moment to think about what our responsibility is. So, I'm going to ask you to break the glass. Josh, it might be better in your shoes than in Ollie's shoes.
Okay. In the name of equality, I want you to hold my hand. We're doing it together, even though...
It's now up to the two of you to go forth in life and to do your part in creating a better world for all the people whose lives you touch.
Okay.
Jeez.
That was 10,000 pounds of pressure. I started even on these.
On the piano, there is a jar, and there's also some paper and pens there. So I'm hoping that everybody will take a few moments now. Josh is actually going
to make a wish.
To play a song about wishes and wishes coming true. So if everybody wants to take the opportunity to write something, in whatever form you would like to, a wish, a prayer, advice, and put it in the jar for them to save and to read later.
So you can start doing the wishes.